Hey, our upgrade pace is looking solid right now, but I do think we need to push harder if we want to stay competitive. Here's the report.
What's going on, guys? It is Tom and welcome back to a brand new video and a brand new episode of my F1 2017 career mode. And we're here for the British Grand Prix, my home race, and one that I'm desperate to try and perform at and try and get a good result. The last few races have gone pretty up and down. It's been a lot of a roller coaster in terms of results, but in the last one, we had a pretty good race around Austria, and we got some really solid points after the absolute shocker that was Baku. But as you can see, we're here in Silverstone, gearing up for Friday practice, and overall, I was very happy with how the car was handling around here. I think I've got a chance. I've got to say early on, I've got a chance around here. But the setup's pretty good on the car. I'm happy with how the setup's going. I'm happy with the car, how it's handling around here, and overall, I'm really impressed. I will say, I'm running practice though on very worn engine components. My IC was near like 75/80% in this practice session. Wow, couldn't get my sentence together there. In this practice session, my IC was pretty damn worn, and so are a few other parts. And this is probably my last race on this gearbox also, so there's a few parts that are getting a little bit of wear and tear. I'm gonna have to try and switch them out by the end of this Friday practice session. But as you can see, we're currently doing our practice programs, and so far not too bad, getting a couple of purple scores. However, the fuel safe test was a little bit of a more trickier one. I tried a couple of times. This is actually my second attempt of doing it. I did all 3 laps in the first attempt, then I restarted and tried to do it again, and I just couldn't get the purple. That was the closest I got. I just couldn't seem to get a purple around this track, so in the end I just gave up on it, and I just took the 30 points instead of the 50. Also on the qualifying performance test, very close to the purple, but we just couldn't get it, and the green was the best I could do also, so another 30 points there. But still, they're all just points that keep on stacking up, and I'm planning on doing an upgrade maybe around the Belgian/Italian Grand Prix. I want to try and bring a big package, probably for Belgium, to be honest. But as you can see, we're just looking at the MG UK and all the other engine components like the ICE and also the MGUH. As you can see, they're all pretty worn. I mean, the ICE is on 80%. That's like screaming at me, to be honest with you. But we are going to be struggling a little bit in this race weekend, just sort of limping over practice there. But we do end practice, and we couldn't even hit 300 Ks in a straight line. Like, we were struggling to hit 300 kilometers in a straight line. The max I could do with that DRS was 294, which is absolutely shocking. So the straight line speed was really poor. But luckily for qualifying, especially because this is my home race, I'm gonna put in a couple of fresh engine parts, and I'm just gonna go for it. We got a few races coming up soon that you're gonna need it. Like, obviously, I'm gonna put in a whole brand new engine for Belgium and Monza. So those ones will have a new engine feature put in. But for this race, I wanted to just fast track one, to be honest with you, and just try and put on a show for the fans. So I'll use literally 4 of the engine components for 2 races. So Spa Monza will have their basically the package number 4, part 4 of the engine will be for Spa and Monza, but the rest of it I'll have to sort of juggle around with for the rest of the season. But meanwhile, jumping into qualifying, we've actually done a pretty good job of qualifying into Q2 for the first time in a little while, getting a very solid qualifying result. The Esteban Ocon in lofty heights up in P7, and then we went out in Q2, went out for 2 runs in this session. The first one, as you can see, as we cross the line, we go P3, so a pretty good opening lap in the Q2 session here, getting ahead of Bottas, who won on the soft tyre, but then we dropped down to P10, so with the timer about to run out, I decided to go for one more run, and this lap was absolutely flat out, not leaving any time on the table. As you can see, going through the respective sector splits, it's a pretty good lap so far, up on our delta through the first sector, currently a couple of tenths down on first place, and now coming through Chapel, coming towards the end of the second sector, getting it on the grass, really trying to get the car on the ragged edge, really just ringing it out here, 1.1 down on the pace here, and now through the final sector, now 3.5 tenths up on our delta. Pretty good lap here as we come through the final corner. Do we improve and get out of the knockout zone? Yes, we do, up into P9, because literally in that final sector alone, I got knocked down from 10th to 12th, so luckily I was on a good lap, and I managed to pull one out the bag and get myself P9, and Esteban Ocon managed to qualify in P10, so 2 full cylinders in Q3 once again here at Silverstone. So very good qualifying result for us. But now jump into Q3 and my absolute best lap of the weekend. So here we go then, into turn 1, absolutely flat out through here. Try not to turn the steering wheel too much to try and maintain your straight line speed. Then through flat out through 2 into turn 3, third gear corner. You want to try and keep it a little bit tight, don't run out too wide, and then try and bring the nose in for turn 4. Turning slightly too early there, which compromises my exit line, but still it's a pretty good first sector. Not any corrections whatsoever, very nice and smooth on the steering wheel. Now as we come across the first sector spread, it's looking pretty good so far as we now go into this very swooping long left-hander. Fourth gear, you can use third, but I like it in fourth. Also through here, the swooping right-hander of either Luffield or Brooklands, I always get them mixed up. Pretty good through there, nice bit of exit speed traction, very good there, using all the track available as you go through Woodcut, and so far it's been a perfect lap, not a single correction as we go into Copse Corner, absolutely flat out, really committing to the lap time here, and it was absolutely spot on, getting a nice flawless line through there as we now go into Maggots, flat out through the first part, and then into Beckett's, couple of downshifts, and then finally into the Chapel section. Now fifth gear, you could use fourth, I like fifth, using all of the track available, and so far we're in a pretty good lap here, only 6 tenths down on first place as we go through the middle sector. But here we go then into Stowe Corner, dropping it a couple of gears down to fifth gear, then short shifting to sixth just to really get the speed out, or revving the engine up depending how you want to sort of get the exit speed in the corner. Then just before the 50-meter ball, down to third gear for the Val chicane as you can see, and then finally Club Corner, trying to get through the gears, make sure you have no wheel spin through this final corner, which is absolutely just critical. And we come across the line, and it is a fantastic lap for P5 in the British Grand Prix, and I couldn't describe to you how I felt after I nailed that lap. I was so chuffed, and that was a really good lap time, really competitive, beating a couple of Red Bulls in the process, and when I finished that lap, I tell you, it felt like I was absolutely hooked up to a T. So hopefully we can convert this to a good result in the race for the British Grand Prix. Right, so here we are in race day 4, Silverstone, and my home race, and as you can see, it's absolutely chucking it down. Typical British summer weather here, and from P5 on the grid, I'm very much looking forward to see how this one unfolds actually, and we've got a good chance of trying to maybe have a good race here today. I don't know how the car's going to perform in the wet conditions, however, it looks like these wet conditions are here to stay. As you see on screen right now, it's wet throughout the entirety of the Grand Prix, so we're going to probably be on full wets for the whole race, so it's going to be a very interesting race here at Silverstone here today, and we'll see what we can do. I mean, P5 I could finish there by the end of the race, and that would be absolutely fantastic. So we're going to see what we can do. We're going to have 2 very quick Red Bulls behind us that do tend to go better in these conditions compared to the dry, and hopefully we can try and do something in this race, because I really want to try and put on a show for the home fans. I pulled an absolute worldie out of the bag yesterday in qualifying, hooking up an absolutely incredible lap in Q3, and I aim to do the exact same thing again here today on Sunday for the race. So without further ado, let's jump straight into it for the British Grand Prix. Right, here we go then. 5 red lights for the British Grand Prix, and it's going to be lights out and away we go for round 10 of the season. It's a pretty good start actually. A little bit of a poor second phase there with the wheel spin, but into turn 1 for the first time here. Let's avoid the cars. We've got a Ferrari going sideways for Sebastian Vettel. We're going to get the jump on him by the look of it. Back end stepping out of me slightly there, but we've made the move and we're up into 4th place, so it's been a very good start here. Lewis retaining 1st place, so the home faithful would be happy with that, but right now we're off to a really good start here, and we managed to jump one of the Ferraris, and it's not just one of the Ferraris, it's a championship leader, so a really good opening lap here so far at Silverstone, and I think we're going to be able to hold on to 4th into this next section. So right now, let's see what our pace is like in these conditions, and let's see if today we can have a race on our hands. End of lap 1, the front 3 are starting to pull away already. Seb is looking for a move on me here, but he's not going to get it into turn 1. So right now, let's see how long we can defend and how long we can keep this prancing horse behind us. He's also got 2 very fast Red Bulls right behind him, I think, and it's actually Hulkenberg is behind Vettel. So Hulkenberg off to an incredible start here at Silverstone, getting the jump on a couple of good cars there. So very good start from those guys there. Oh, big moment there, but still got some good pace. Car's working very nicely, and me and Seb are getting away from Hulkenberg. We are dropping quite severely behind the front 3, but I don't really care about that. I've got one of the Ferraris behind me, and I'm more than happy with that. If I finish a race in P4, I'll be over the moon ecstatic with this result. So right now, we've got to try and hold this position. Like I said, we're pulling away from the guys behind, so let's try and keep it going here. Oh, right, that's not good. Vettel's going to get past me here. I'm going to try and squeeze him a little bit. Can I fight him into the brakes? Oh, side by side with Seb. We are going to go wheel banging. I'm going to squeeze him out, but that was a huge moment there. The back end is stepping out massively. Right, so that's interesting. Possibility of inters maybe, I'm guessing, but the rain's still coming down at a pretty good rate. So we'll stick on these for now. The car feels good, pace is good, and we're keeping Seb behind us, or at least we was up until now. We're going to give a little squeeze now to the inside. A little bit of a Silverstone action, just like Vettel in real life with Verstappen and Bottas. I've gone clean around the outside at Stowe. Have I made it work? I think I have. Yes, I have. Wow, really simple defensive move there around the outside. I think that Seb was just really off balance there because we had a little bit of contact going to the corner there. But wow, that was actually pretty. I'm quite surprised how well I defended that one. So we're going to stay in P4 for now, but Seb is trying to hustle and harry me a little bit here. But luckily, I'm staying firm, I'm staying strong, and I'm not letting him really push me about. There goes Seb. This time he's going for the outside into Stowe. Surely not. That's a bit too complicated. And I think he's thought better of it and he decided not to commit to the move. But he's trying, he's looking in different places. He is going to try and get the move soon. But right now I'm still holding the position here. I'm doing a stellar job of holding 4th place. And I feel very comfortable on the track right now. With the exception of a few screen freezes, which are sort of, you know, getting on my nerves slightly. The car's performing beautifully. And right now we're defending this position pretty nicely. Okay, personal best lap of the race. Still got a little bit of pace. The front 3 still are so much quicker than me. But, you know, I'm still defending from Seb here, so I'm doing a good job of that. And I've got good pace to even still maintain 5th place, even if Seb does get past me. So this is looking pretty good for us right now. Ooh. Big moment onto the hanger straight. That's going to allow Sebastian this time really get a good run on me here on the hanger straight. He's actually made the move. Can I go back up the inside on the brakes? Oh, it's moving very close. He's going to hang around the outside. I'm still there. A little bit of contact. Vettel braking mid-corner. I've managed to still get ahead of him somehow, and we're going to hold on to P4, but that was very close. Very, you know, just a heart and mouth moment there. I thought for a second I was going to go for a spin because I don't know why Vettel broke midway through Stowe, because if I tapped him in a different sort of way, I might have gone around for a spin there, but wow, that was very close. Luckily, we got away with it there, but we're still ahead, holding P4 like an absolute champ around here, and I think it's inevitable Seb will get past, but how long can I keep him behind me this race? It's amazing how myself and Nico Hulkenberg are just outperforming our respective machines here and battling with a couple of Red Bulls and a Ferrari in this race. It's absolutely incredible, and just goes to show that you can really shine through in these conditions if you're good enough. And I've really been on the money this weekend, just really not wanting to disappoint the home fans, and wanted to really perform a home race, and so far that's exactly what I've done. And from based off the radio messages, the rain is here to stay, so as long as the conditions remain, we could be in pole position here to try and get a good result this race. Right, here we go then, through Stowe. I'm going to come into the pit lane for my one and only stop of the race, so let's get it all slowed down, make sure we hit our marks. It's a slow pit lane this one, but there we go, we've absolutely nailed it, and that was a perfect pit entry there, absolutely textbook. And we got a couple of cars in behind. I think we've got Hulkenberg and one of the Red Bulls there, so it's going to be a bit of a pit stop battle here between 4 cars. So we're going to go a little bit further down in the pit lane, so let's hope that is a benefit to us and we can hopefully come out ahead. So here we go then, into the pit box, holding onto the clutch. Let's try and go nice and quick. There we go, out ahead, just ahead of Sebastian there. So critical pit stop there, but we're out ahead, and I think we're all going to rejoin the same order. Not quite. Hulkenberg loses a place to the Red Bull, so there you go, Hulkenberg losing out in that battle, but we've rejoined right ahead of Sebastian, so we can continue to frustrate him now in this stint. So let's get on our way. I hit the inside wall. What's going on there? That is not good. Is that an invisible wall? Oh no, that is not good at all, because that's going to really set me back now this race. Oh no. Okay, we could be in trouble here. I'm going to stay out. I'm going to try and fight this front wing damage and really put on a clinic here. So we're going to fight this now for every just fibre in my being to try and defend this position. Seb's going to go up the inside. I've got literally no front end downfalls, and Seb has made the move and finally gone past me here. So fair play to him. We've got a few cars in the pit lane. We've got Ricciardo behind us now. So can we keep Ricciardo behind? If I can finish in the starting position, which is P5, which is what I should be in right now, as long as Verstappen hasn't undercut us, then I'll be happy with that. Verstappen's leaving the pit lane now, so has the overcut of Verstappen worked? I think it might have done, and I think it has. He's come out ahead of Sebastian there, so look at that, the overcut paying dividends for Verstappen, staying out one more lap, and that's fantastic strategy from the Dutchman. And now Vettel is going to be all over his rear end trying to pass him, and that's us losing another place then, just by simply pitting and making a stupid mistake. So right now we're fighting a losing battle, but like I said, I'm staying out. I don't want to come in because I'm going to lose too much time. Right, onto the hanger straight. Here comes Daniel Ricciardo. He's going to have a huge Tommy here. He's going to pull to the inside. Exact same thing as Sebastian Vettel. I'm going to pull to the outside. Let him have the inside line. Can I go around the outside of Stowe corner here? This time, much nicer line through there. A bit tight on the apex. Ricciardo squeezed me onto the curb though. That's going to put Hulkenberg right on the back of me here. Hulkenberg's going to look for the outside into the Val chicane. I'm going to try and squeeze him out, but he's having absolutely none of it. Still there on my inside though. I'm just going to outpower him around the outside. So Ricciardo now getting past, and that's me now down to P7. But even still, P7 is best of the rest, and I'm still beating my teammates. So I will take this position if I can finish here. That's also where the team want me to finish. So let's try and make this the finishing position. Let's try and keep Nico Hulkenberg behind us for the rest of this race. I'm really having to play around with the gears on this car to really get the nose into certain corners, and you can see the lap time there. I'm 1.5 off my personal best, so I am definitely going slow, but like I said, me and Hulkenberg are such a huge cushion to the guys behind that I can afford to stay out here, and I think I'd lose more time coming in because the pit lane is one of the slowest on the calendar, so it's worth me staying out and battling these guys, I think. So that's what we're going to do. We've only got about 10 laps to go anyway when we cross the line, so it's absolutely worth it right now. And I think I can keep Hulkenberg behind me because he hasn't got the downforce that the other guys did. So let's try our absolute hardest to keep Nico behind us.
A mechanical issue means you've lost one of the gears.
Oh no!
You have lost access to one of the gears.
I think I've lost 4th gear. That is huge. I think I've lost 4th gear. Oh no. This race is falling apart in front of my very eyes. I'm recording this at 2 o'clock in the morning. Everyone in the house I think is asleep, but I don't care. I've lost 4th gear. What is going on? Oh no, I've lost 5th. Oh, that is a big gear to lose. That is not ideal. 5th gear is a really important gear on this circuit, so we're going to be severely in trouble here. So I'm going to have to use Rich Mix to defend. Luckily, I've got a lot of it, so we're going to have to defend from Hulkenberg using Rich Mix. Oh, okay, 5th gear's back. Right, we've recovered 5th gear, so luckily that wasn't too long. So we've managed to survive, and we can now defend from Hulkenberg with a full set of gears. But that is a little bit concerning. We may lose a gear, we don't know again this race, so we've got to be very careful with this. Okay, I've got 2 laps plus saved up a Rich Mix, so I'm going to deploy that now. Even though MM's UK is advising me not to, I don't care. I've got to try and bring it home in P7, so I'm going to use this up now, and hopefully this will help me defend from the cars behind in these last 3 laps, and also maybe even get a gap out if I've got enough pace, which I do doubt, but you never know. Maybe the Rich Mix makes a huge difference around here, but I'm going to use it all up now in these last few laps. Well, behind me, Hulkenberg and Massa starting to have a little bit of a battle, which has given me a chance to escape here. Ocon has caught up to the back of him now, and I think there's now 2 cars approaching, so very soon I could be holding up like a train of 5 cars, and that's going to be very hard to defend against. But with the Rich Mixture, I feel confident in the straight lines that I can keep the cars behind me. So we're getting there now, we're getting towards the finish line, and if I bring it home in P7 with this damage, I'll be very happy after my very stupid mistake earlier on this race. Okay, with 1.5 laps to go, this is officially a 5-car train behind me with 6 cars if you include myself, and it's about to become 7 with 1 more car approaching, so this is going to get very tense on this last lap. Any mistake that I make, and I'm going to drop out of the point, so I've got to be very careful now in these last few laps of the Grand Prix because the pressure is on. Okay, through Magnussen, Beckett and Chappell one final time. Lewis Hamilton has won it for the British Grand Prix in front of the British fans. So here we go, onto the hanger straight for one last time here. Have we got enough? I think we have got enough of a gap. Hulkenberg's going to try and close, but I don't think it's close enough. I want to go defensive just in case, and I think we are going to get it in P7. Let's just try and nurse now Stowe corner and the final Val chicane, and then we should be okay. I think we're okay now. P7, let's try and make sure we don't make any mistakes into here. Final couple of corners, bring the car home with a pretty worn engine and also a completely orange front right hand side end plate. But here we go through the final corner, and we bring it home in P7, and I'm very happy with that. And what a result for the British Grand Prix, and I'll take that as almost like a race win. That was a really, really good result, and I'm really happy with that considering the issues I had in the second half of the race, even losing a gear. So really, really good performance, and I think I get to switch out my gearbox after this race, luckily, so I won't have to run that damaged gearbox anymore because that one has a risk of obviously missing gears, as you just saw. So, as you can see, Mercedes win the British Grand Prix with the Lewis Hamilton winning the race, and he'll be absolutely just chuffed with that one and absolutely thrilled. And I think he's got 2 Ferraris to either side, with Bottas having issues with Ericsson, like we said before, and overall, that was a very good race, and we'll see now on the podium if it is 2 Mercedes or 2 Ferraris, but wow, what I'm just speechless. That was just I enjoyed that in many ways, but at the same time that was so tense and so tough. But Oh, wow, okay, so you've got 2 Mercedes on the podium, so there you go. So, overall, not too bad. I think Mercedes will be happy with that. They are definitely finding a bit of form now, and they're starting to catch Ferrari. I mean, I'm not saying that I'll be going to Mercedes next season, but it's always good to see that they're doing the right things, because, you know, if we want to go to a top team, then I guess we need to make sure that they're going well so we can assess our options. But overall, I'm actually curious. I think we might be close to having number 1 driver status now, because I'm very close to the purple, which I'll show you in a moment on the laptop. But as you can see, looking at the final race results, Lewis Hamilton wins it ahead of Kimi and Bottas, and Vettel brings it home in P4. Obviously, after all the time that I cost him, he couldn't bring it home. He almost beat Vettel. He almost beat Bottas, 2 tenths behind Valtteri actually. So Bottas must have had some severe issues. But Verstappen P5 after P9 on the grid. Good result from him there with Ricciardo in P6, and I bring him in P5, which isn't too bad. I mean, I'll take that. And Ocon also gets a point there, but in terms of the lower half of the table there, let's have a look. Nothing major except for Sainz and Ericsson DNFing them. Alonso getting a pretty good result on P15 there from McLaren. But other than that, we're going to jump into the driver standings. As you can see, we're still ahead of Ocon by 22 points, and we're 5 points behind Ricciardo. But we're not really looking enough ahead. We're more looking behind and making sure that we stay as the number 1 driver. But then looking at the constructors, you can see that we're still comfortably holding 4th place with 60 points difference to either team above and below. So 60 points difference to Red Bull and 60 points difference to Williams. So we're slap bang in the middle in 4th place, and that's a very solid constructors position for us. But before I run off the video, we're going to see if we get any sort of cutscene after this. I'm not really sure if we will, or maybe a classic event. So we're just going to quickly jump into it now and see what we get at the end of this episode. Okay, so I thought I'd give you guys a little bit of a small rundown on some of the stats that I've got and how things are looking. So right now, we've banked away a nice, good, healthy amount of resource points, as you can see there on screen. I don't think I'm going to spend them just yet. I'm going to wait to try and bring a big upgrade for the Belgian and Italian Grand Prix. So for the Belgian Grand Prix, I'm going to try and bring a big upgrade for the car. But also, looking at the driver rivalry, obviously we've got Verstappen as our rival, as we showed a few episodes ago. It's going to be pretty tough to beat Verstappen first time of asking with our car, but also looking at a driver rivalry, which is what I'm on about. As you can see, we're now into the purple, so I wonder if we'll get a cutscene with Emma here.
Hey, quick question. How are you here? Are you happy? I mean, obviously, I hope so, but you do have some other options if you're up for a new challenge. Let me just grab the door. I had a call from another team a few weeks ago. Well, things have moved on since then. These are the offers I've managed to put together for you. You don't have to do anything with them, but let me know what you think.
Right, so we've got offers, and we've got a possibility of switching teams. However, from what I can see, the options aren't great. We only got these 3 to choose from, so I think we're going to have to stick on with Force India. It's disappointing. I thought I would have got a promotion to first driver by now, but instead they want me to stay on as number 2. So yeah, I think I'm just going to have to take it. I'm very surprised. I mean, I've been outperforming Ocon all season, but somehow they still want me as a number 2 driver. So I don't really want to take a step down to McLaren or Sauber. So we're just going to have to stick with Force India and hope that this is the best option for us. So I think we're just going to have to press select and click on Force India. And there we go. Right, so we've got a classic event now. So what we're going to do is, I think we're going to go for the... I think we're going to go for the Pursuit, just because it's got the F2004, and that's my all-time favourite F1 car. So let's jump straight into this classic event now, and see how this one goes around the short circuit of Kota. Right, so it's very simple. We've got to finish in first place, overtaking other cars around us, and it has to be before the allocated set of laps. So I believe we've done this sort of challenge before earlier on in the season, but we've got 3 laps to basically overtake every single car in this beautiful F2004 V10 powered Ferrari. So the task is simple. Let's jump straight into it and see how this absolute legendary F1 car handles. Lights out, away we go with the V10 Ferrari. Let's try and rev this engine up a little bit. Oh, that sounds absolutely incredible. Right, okay. Let's have a little bit of fun here and try and catch these guys. Oh my god, the downforce I've got in this car is unbelievable. I just fly past the 95 Ferrari like he's not even there. The speed I've got and the downforce this car has is a little bit surreal, to be honest. It does want to snap on you every now and again, but it's got the sort of downforce the 2017 car has. It's just incredible. It just sticks through the corners. But there we go. We've got past one car. Now let's try and chase down the next one. Okay, we caught up to the back of this car here, this MP46 I believe it is, the 1991 McLaren. Here we go through the little chicane. We're going to try and set ourselves up for a move on this car, which is pretty good in a straight line, but we're better. And can we get him on the brakes into here? Let's have a look up the inside. There we go, nice and easy. You can notice the one thing on this car compared to the 2017 ones is, even though it's got a downforce on the straight line speed, it doesn't have the stopping power under brakes because it hasn't got that much aero complexity, which doesn't slow it down into the corners as much as the 2017 cars does. But even still, great fun to drive. Okay, we're right behind this Williams now. I think it's the 96 Williams, so we're going to try and make a move here. Just slide up the inside. Oh, that was close. It got too much downforce in many regards because the back end is going to come round if I over push the limit of the grip that is there. But we're making good progress, but I don't think we're going to get everyone unless these two cars are very old, slow cars. Right, I think we're going to fail the challenge. I'm trying to push my hardest to catch these, but it's actually a much harder challenge than it looks. And we're only going to get up to P3, so we've only overtaken 3 cars. So we have not succeeded in the challenge here, but great fun nonetheless. I really enjoyed that, and wow, that's much harder than what I think. And so far, these challenges have caught me out. They are much harder than I've expected, but we failed the second one in a row. So after doing the first 2 and smashing them out of the park, we failed the last 2, so we need to really try and do better in the next one. But other than that, guys, that is going to conclude this episode of Career Mode. If you guys have enjoyed this stacked episode, then I do urge you to go smash the like button. Also subscribe to my channel if you're new around here. And if you have missed these videos on screen right now, then I do urge you to go check them out if you haven't done so already. But thank you guys ever so much for watching, and I'll see you on my next video very soon. Goodbye.